Known issues, common problems, design faults. If you dig deep enough, you can compile a long list for any dirt bike. We think this is a good idea. Why? It makes sense to buy the dirt bike that will be the most reliable and need less maintenance and modifications. Over the past 7 years, our reviews have focused more on the known issues and common problems with various dirt bikes. But some reviewers react badly. Reaction number 1. My dirt bike has never had this problem, therefore your claims are untrue. Is basic statistics. Let's look at the main bearing failures on Beta two-strokes that began in 2018. Once this was publicised, Beta USA stated there was a 5% failure rate. Dozens of loyal Beta owners told me it was a myth because their Beta had no main bearing issues, and their friends' motorbikes were fine too. There is a similar reaction to the CDI corrosion problems in recent Beta models. Some riders check their CDIs, find no corrosion, and say, it's a myth. The same principle applies to the various TPI problems reported in KTM, GasGas and Husqvarna two-strokes. We don't know the actual rates of engine failures, but the majority of owners do have problem-free riding. The simple fact is, most known issues only appear in a limited number of dirt bikes. In statistical terms, you need a very broad sample to get an idea of the problem. Reaction number 2. If only a small number of motorbikes are failing, then why bother publicising it? I think this depends on your personality type. Let's assume that 5% of 2021 TPI motorbikes will seize in their first 100 hours. Some owners will see this as a small risk and not worry about it. Others will be very concerned and they will take steps to reduce the chances. And in fact, KTM has released a new map that uses more oil. It also depends on the consequences. A complete engine rebuild is very expensive, whereas a problem with poor quality taillight bulbs failing is probably not worth mentioning. I also think it's a good thing to publicise known issues, as it provides more pressure on manufacturers to resolve problems, provide goodwill warranties and issue service bulletins or recalls if needed. Reaction number 3. How dare you attack my motorbike? You have to love brand loyalty. It's very understandable. In psychological terms, it's known as investment bias. You sold your children to afford this shiny new motorbike, so you want to believe it's perfect. And anyone who threatens your idea of perfection is the enemy. Reaction number 4. I told you that brand is shit. It's reverse brand loyalty. A good example of this is riders who own Japanese motorbikes. The moment you report a known issue with a European brand, they see this as proof that all European motorbikes are unreliable. There can be an element of truth to this. We'll discuss that shortly. Reaction number 5. Oh no, I've made a terrible mistake. If you have any problems with anxiety, you automatically assume these known issues will happen to your motorbike. Anxiety and stress can actually be very serious mental health issues. These can lead to a reaction called awfulizing. You take a small problem and blow it out of all proportion. You assume the worst will happen and it will be an awful experience. A better response to a potential known issue with your motorbike is just research the problem, see what the solutions are, and realise that known issues usually only occur in a small number of cases. A few quick points. The endless debate about Japanese reliability and unreliable European bikes. The truth is, most European models are pretty good nowadays compared to decades ago. Personally, I think the real debate is about innovation. Most Japanese brands are not innovating anymore. Innovation invariably means a higher rate of known issues as they iron out problems. Much of the famous Japanese reliability is due to the fact they rarely innovate anymore. Do European brands sometimes bring out their invitations too soon and treat riders as lab rats? This is a common accusation levelled at KTM, and we have covered this in another video. In some cases, this does appear to be likely. It's an interesting debate, as innovation almost always means some level of known issues emerging. Why do some manufacturers take so long to address known issues? A very interesting topic. Sometimes it can just be laziness. For example, I've spoken to beta dealers who say there is no feedback process with beta head office. They try to provide feedback on known issues, but they allege the Italian head office is not interested. On the other hand, KTM do seem to respond pretty quickly in most cases. Also, it can simply take time to resolve issues. What is the issue? How do we need to change things? How soon can the new parts be available? It all takes time and money. Our conclusion? We think most reviews of motorbikes and products are not critical enough. So instead of glowing reviews that regurgitate the manufacturer's claims, we will continue to actively look for faults and known issues. How you deal with this, we leave up to you. Have you hit known issues with your dirt bike? What happened? What was your reaction? Let us know in the comments.